Good evening, everybody. I'm John O'Loughlin. Welcome to my channel. It's called McDuff Lives 2. That's our backup channel. I'm going to be here on the backup channel for a little while. And wow, I just noticed we had a little bit of a lighting change. Andy and I were working on that before the show, and I'm not sure why the light seems to get a little brighter and softer sometimes. But anyway, just a little technical thing. Um, well, tonight I am hoping that I can introduce you to Screaming Ospreys TV. And right now I'm not seeing it on live. Oh, there it is. And right now I'm not seeing it on. Okay. All right. So if it's live. Oh, there it is. And right now I'm not seeing it on. Okay. All right. So if it's live. Oh, there it is. And right now I'm not seeing it on. Okay. All right. So if it's live. Oh, there it is. And all right. So that was me going over to ScreamingOspreys.com and looking at what is the live show going on right now on ScreamingOspreys.com. Now, I'm not going to go back there because we'll just get into an echo chamber like we just did. But it's pretty cool looking at what we can do over there at the TV station. It's called Screaming Ospreys TV, and I want to tell you just a little bit about it. If you'll give me a minute, I just want to let's just leave it there without any sound. Perfect. And okay, you're going to see that there's just a little bit of a delay visually. Uh-oh. Now we're getting that cascading thing. Andy, you just added it in again. um, Here's the deal, though. Okay, stop right there, Andy. And you can see down at the bottom there is a schedule of what's coming up, and if you see where my arrow is there at 9 o'clock, you can see we are on our live launch right now, which will continue until 9 p.m. approximately. And then at 9 p.m., the shows that I have programmed into the schedule tonight will start to play. And let me go over to the Twitter feed that I put up earlier, and you can see that. Let's see, how am I going to do this? All right. I'm just going to share my screen, Andy, so that this is simple. And there it is. So this is the schedule for tonight. And I've put that schedule up on my Twitter, and I'll do that regularly as we start, getting into a workflow. But you'll be able to look at that either on Twitter, or perhaps I'll put it up on the website itself whenever you want to, and see what's coming up. Now, what I did for the rest of the evening, as you can see at 9 o'clock, the first thing that'll happen is we'll play our little music video that we made with the gang from the first charrette, the Annapolis charrette, when we sailed down the Chester River together to see the Russian retreat. and those of us that were there had a fabulous time. Well, that's just a little 2-minute introduction, and then I've selected a few of my past shows to fill in the. Yeah, it does look like a TV guide, doesn't it, Cass McCinty? It's really neat. It's really neat. So on this schedule, you can see that I've lined up 4 shows that will wrap up at midnight. So after this show's over, if you want, you can continue watching this show on ScreamingOspreys.com. If you go to ScreamingOspreys.com, you'll see the well, Andy just had it up there, so I guess you've already seen it. But let's go over to ScreamingOspreys.com, Andy, and I want to just walk through from the top because there's been some changes. Well, you can see that there is a an osprey nest there and an osprey out on a limb. This is done by Catherine, Jumping Mouse, who always finds a nice. Hang on, Andy, not so fast. Always finds an interesting video feed for us to have ospreys to look at, and some people just like to sit and look at the ospreys. So there they are. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit, Andy, and you can see the next thing that you'll see there is the TV show. Now, if you go on down a little bit more, and you can actually you can make that full screen. There's one of those little diamond button things that you push in, and you can make it full screen if you want to. But without doing that, let's just go on past the TV and get to the book. The next thing you'll see is there's a Patreon button for our support, which we do appreciate. And then also the book, if you want to support us by buying the book or just buy the book to enjoy and to help participate in the study of McDuff's life as we continue to fine tune our understanding of what went on in his amazing career. So, yeah, we have Infidel Apostate. Thanks for your comment. Let me read this. Heard McDuff has 2 strikes. Yeah, we do. We have 2 strikes. Just started archiving them all on Telegram. Now, I have not checked out Telegram yet, guys. I'm probably an old fogey by now, but I can't jump these platforms as fast as some people can. Oh, there goes my light again. It's an interesting problem. We'll sort that out another time. So that's right. So we have to make sure that we don't. I'm not going to broadcast probably for at least another 2 weeks just to be safe. The first strike will come off this week, so I'll be down to 1 strike. But gosh, I don't like the nervousness of it, and I've got what 300 and some videos over there on McDuff Lives that are my archive. And oh, you got your book on Saturday. Yay, salsa. That's great. Yeah, I hope it's a fun read. Most people have said I've been pleased with the reviews. By the way, if you have read the book, either version that you have, please do drop a review on Amazon.com for me. I know we have mixed feelings about Amazon, but this is where we're doing our marketing, guys. So help me out with it anyway. I'd appreciate it. So put up a positive review if you possibly can. I do appreciate it. And thank you very much, Infidel Apostate. And also to Blackberry something. Sorry, I don't have your full handle right there, but you also have been archiving our work. Next, you get 4 BitChute buttons. Now, this is what Catherine's been doing. She's been working very, very hard to get our shows up onto BitChute. I know everybody has their favorite backup channel, but we chose BitChute about a year ago, and so far we've been pleased with it. So that's where you can find all of our shows. They're not censored over there like they are on YouTube. So you can see those 4 categories will give you lots of stuff to read to watch. Also, there's playlists on YouTube if you just want to go through some of the more recent material. Yeah, speaking of, well, there's the calendar. Let's look at the calendar now. You can see Jumping Mouse keeps our calendar. Lately, been doing 5 days a week shows, one show a day. Sometimes I do more. Sometimes I do 10 or 12 shows a week. I was doing 12 shows a week for the first couple years, and really felt a need to get all of this stuff out there to you that I could, and especially the book readings. And that's let's go back up and look at the book train again, Andy, because it's right above the calendar. There it goes, and let's just wait for it to come around again. What Jumping Mouse has done since YouTube screwed us up on our first channel is she has now gone through and eliminated the books that got dropped by YouTube. So the ones you see here, you can stop the book train by pushing on one of the books, and then you can that opens up the playlist, and then that way you can just go through the whole book if you want to. Cassidy's run is there, and Gary Waitman is waiting patiently for me to finish reading that book. I stopped reading it because of all the just the rush of getting ready for my dad's um, 50th anniversary of his death on June the 6th. We did the big program, and I haven't gotten back to it because I've just been, well, you know how life is, right? So yeah, Amazon is bad about censorship, but they do reach quite a large market, and it was easy enough for me to get it published. Actually, my beloved drummer did it. My drummer was the one that figured out how to do the margins right and get all the little numbers just right. I would have never got it. So yeah, I'm very grateful to drummer. I should give you a update. She had, of course, a very serious heart attack on Thursday, September 8th. And was that a Thursday or Wednesday? Anyway, it was that night. And the local guys from the rescue squad really saved her. They uh, came and got her out of the upstairs bathroom. They took her, carried her down on a stretcher, down the stairs, out the door, and out to the ambulance. And then the ambulance drove over to the local field where a helicopter came and dropped down and picked her up and carried her to Southern Maryland Hospital, which is about an hour and a quarter or so drive away. And by the time she got there, the doctors were ready. They just went ahead and opened her. And when they didn't open her, but they did the catheterization and um, the angio thing. Anyway, I don't know all the terms, but and I'm still nervous about it because it really has been quite a ride. But I am just grateful that she's okay, and she's upstairs resting. We took a nice walk today, did about a half a mile, and we're building up stamina. She'll be entering a cardiac rehab program as soon as they have space. That won't start until October, but between now and then, we work with her doctor to work within sane limits, but try to get her moving. You can't be a couch potato after you've had an event like this. You have to get moving. So that's what we're doing, and thank goodness I'm free to take care of her during the day, and we're both doing pretty good. Uh, what a week for George Webb, huh? What do you guys think about his amazing work? And I do think we George is making a huge difference, and each one of you is making a huge difference. Um, when I first met George, when he once in a while would go out and sing on the streets, and him and and oh gosh, Jace. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't remember his name. Really sweet, nice man, a great singer, great guitar player. And we went out on the streets and sang. And one of the songs that I sang uh, was the American Anthem by Gene Shear. And I think that's my inspiration, really. I think it should be the American Anthem. We don't need this Star Spangled Banner so much anymore. The bombs bursting in air is not my idea of a good time. I think what we need is some commitments to some principles, and that's what American Anthem gives us. You know, all we've been given by those who came before. The From what we've been given, we were determined to leave more. Battles fought together, acts of conscience fought alone. These are the things from which America has grown. Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you. For those who think they have nothing to share, who believe in their hearts there's no hero there. No, each quiet act of dignity is that which fortifies the soul of a nation that will never die. Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you. What a great song. Let's see, Peter Carmichael. How many Peters do we have tonight? Underdown was ace too the other night. Underdown is a smart dude. That's a that's an understatement, if I may be so bold. But well, let's talk a little bit more about possibilities. Think about 24 hours a day of scheduling. And what I am doing is offering to kind of coordinate an effort to create a home base for our Osprey group, so that if you go live on your channel and simulcast it on the Screaming Ospreys TV, which is what I'm doing, right? I'm live on my channel, on my backup channel, but it's simulcasting on Screaming Ospreys TV. So if you have a show such as Dr. or Professor Hamamoto, he has a show he's often on in the afternoons from here East Coast time, in the afternoons, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Well, I've talked to him about it, and he's interested and excited about adding his show to my calendar. So that way you could have a calendar that you would know what's going to be on screamingospreys.tv all day long. And if you wanted to, you could just put it on Screaming Ospreys and leave that in the background and listen to the audio while you're doing other work. And then the other thing that I thought would be good would be to put the book readings up. Because if I can put up the book readings, and which I can, then I don't know whether to put them in like a serial, like say at oh, I don't know, let's pick a time, like 10 p.m. every night. I would run a book, Or I could put all of my readings of the same book in lined up. Like say, if I put The Secret Team and started at 9 o'clock in the morning and ran it all day long, that would be another way I could do it. So, what do you guys think would be the benefit from having a 24-hour schedule up on Screaming Ospreys TV? We could have live shows intermixed with book readings and intermixed with reruns of past shows. Yeah, Kathy says book readings. So that's what I'm going to do. Tonight is just going to, there's a little demonstration show up. But yeah, if you would like to go through the older books that I have, the books that I've put up, and this is what my shows really is about, is trying to get everybody up to speed on what really happened in this country that has led us into where we are today. And these books that I've been reading, I think, are the key. So I'm going to put that up. Now, let's see. I have a vote from Gary Waitman that he wants me to put Cassidy's Run up there, and that's my first request, and I intend to fill that. What other books would you guys like to hear? And also, of course, I can put my minefields up, and that's what you'll see tonight is some of my minefields. Yeah, you can go backward and forward on the stream, Kathy. That's true too. Yeah, live shows will be at regular times. Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I have my 8 o'clock show, and sometimes I do an 11 o'clock in the morning show. Especially tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be with Harley Schlanger at 11 a.m. And we'll be broadcasting that also on Screaming Ospreys TV. So that'll be a live show tomorrow, which will, the way it works is the live shows will just if I've got some pre-recorded material up there, then the live show will preempt it. So if I've been playing, if I put up, a number of of recorded shows one after another, and then it's time for my live show. Well, my live show will pop on top of and preempt the previously scheduled program. Let's see. The Power of the Wolf, Valentine. You mean The Strength of the Wolf by Doug Valentine. And I did read a lot of that one. And yeah, thanks for requesting that. Yeah. The Now, I haven't read Devil's Chessboard yet. I haven't actually read it cover to cover myself, although it's it's a great reference and right over there on my shelf. But for a new book to read, boy, it's a thick one though, isn't it? I mean, I tell you what, I really want to do. I really want to get back to Cassidy's Run because I've got Gary and other people are anxious to get me to finish that book. And also, I want to finish How the Nation Was Won by Graham Lowry. I'm into 20 some editions of that, and got another 100 pages or so. So I want to do that one. Let's see. Pink swastika. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about going into that and the Cherry Marines and all that craziness. I mean, it's legitimate research, and it may very well be key to understanding who these people are. Um, it's not anything they want to talk about, and I'm not sure how helpful it is to. It's salacious. It's icky. It's gross to me, but uh, but gosh, yeah. If you haven't seen Kay Griggs's, I think she's got about 3 hours worth of video on YouTube. You've got to see that. Okay. Paul Manning wrote Borman, Nazi in Exile. That's interesting. The more I can learn about Borman, I think this is really a big thrust of what we've been doing is identifying who are the Nazis that ran the Fourth Reich escape program, and that. Of course, we must have read a half dozen books that inform us about that, including Jim Mars's great book, The Rise of the Fourth Reich, which gives us a lot of details on that. I'm just looking over at my bookshelf to see what's handy that along those lines. One of the books that I've been reading that I read not too long ago, which is this one here, Killing the Planet. These two writers have done fantastic work. Paul L. Williams and Rodney Howard Brown. Um, Killing the Planet and what's the other one? I think it's Killing the United States or something like that. Anyway, it's recent, and The Killing of Uncle Sam. That's their first book, and this is their second one. Conclusion. Between this book and the first book, The Killing of Uncle Sam, there's so much information to share. So many things are wrong in the world today. Can anything ever even be done? Where do we even start? How do we go about making the changes that are needed? There are many questions that arise. However, there is one question we should each ask ourselves. What can I do? I need one thing I can do to make a difference in this world. If everyone reading this book can find that one thing to do and to do it with all their might, we could see a change. To spend their life, their talents, and their resources making a difference, then the tide of evil could be rolled back and evil will be overcome with good. I believe that we have one more hour of daylight, even as the sun is fast setting on the horizon of time. I believe that the preaching of the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ will make the difference. This is my life's purpose. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. I bring you glad tidings of great joy, unquote. As far as I'm concerned, this is the only hope for the nations of the earth. As of this writing, I've been privileged to have traveled to and ministered in 78 nations of the earth. People are the same everywhere. They want freedom. They want to be loved. They want to do something with their life. They have dreams, all put there by their Creator. And God has a plan for each one of them. According to God's word, we are headed toward a one world government, one money system, and the rise of a one world leader, the coming of the Antichrist. However, let's not go hide in a mountain somewhere or merely stand on the sidelines and watch. Let's stand up as others have and join the fight. Down the centuries and down through the years, those who stood up became the reformers. They made a difference. Come on, let's rise up and make a difference. The world is waiting. So that was from Rodney Howard Brown's conclusion. He, of course, is a Christian minister and sees the present times as the times of the Antichrist. Um, Personally, I don't. I see it as the times of the empire, the eternal empire, once again reaching out its tentacles and trying to take over everything that other people have done, all the good things that we're trying to build um, in this country, our country itself, is a huge threat to them. And that means that every one of us that stands up as an American is a huge threat to them. And yeah, if you do pop your head up, uh, it's likely they're going to see it and they're going to come after you. But yeah, it is it's not to me that biblical scenario. I love the line of in Bob Marley's songs where he says, "Some say it's all a part of it. Do you have to fulfill the book?" I don't like the idea of having to fulfill some biblical predictions like in the apocalypse or the book of Revelation. That to me is not where we have to put our efforts, you know. If you believe, that much in the literal interpretation of the Bible, then hopefully you can come to the same result. But to me, I have to look at history, and as he said himself, couch potatoes aren't going to win this. As Bob Marley says, get up, stand up, and you know, don't give up your rights. Don't give up your rights. We can't. We cannot give up our rights. Let's see. Somebody had some questions. I want to pay attention to the chat tonight because I want to see what you're thinking of when is Garland Nixon coming back. Garland he has got a new gig with I think it's KPFA Pacifica Radio in Los Angeles, and he's gone nationwide, and I've told him I'd love to have him come back, but I understand that he's got a career going, and if I can possibly get him back, I will. But right now, I think he's concentrating on what he's doing with KPFK, and that is a big platform. So, and congratulations to Garland for getting that gig. Anyway, great idea, and I'll press him again. I'll see how he's doing. I hope he's recovered from that car accident. That was a terrible looking wreck that he was involved in, and but he looks to be getting back to himself. Let's see what else we're going to look at some other ideas up here. Rodney Howard Brown's megachurch down in Florida has some suspicious characters in their flock. Do your own research. Yes, good idea, John Wilkins. And John Wilkins, by the way, I've enjoyed your comments. Haven't had much interaction with you yet, but it looks like you may either be in Italy or be familiar with Italy, and that's a good connection for me. So look to learn more about you and everybody else in the chat. And you want to share some stuff about yourselves? Fabulous. Well, Paul Williams did a fantastic book called Operation Gladio, and that one, that's not a religious book. That's a book of and again, this book here, whether you're religious or not, the facts are there. Somebody asked me about the. I'm just going to scroll back here. The Ingdahl book we read, yeah, that's called Seeds of Destruction. I don't think it's in. I think it didn't survive the purge, so I'd have to find the old videos and repost them. But that's a good one. I'll put that down. Yeah, Ingdahl is still he's working. He's doing some great work. If you go to his website, it's just called WilliamIngdahl.com, and read his blogs. He puts up 3 or 4 of them a week, and they're always worthwhile. What was the environmental book that got the YouTube boot? That was not actually. I don't think it was that book that got the YouTube boot. It was just a coincidence, but that was uh, I think it was just called Chemtrails or something like Chemtrails by Peter. Sorry, I can't even think of it. Good stuff though. Definitely worth having a look at. Alan Dulles actually encouraged Manning to write a book about pursuing Borman after the war. Interesting. I don't know who Manning is, Brightmore, but that's cool. Philip Haney's book, See Something, Say Nothing. I don't know that his work. Professor Hamamoto did a show on him recently. And as I say, Professor Hamamoto is going to start including our Screaming Ospreys TV will be linked on his shows. So you'll be able to see his work also as part of the calendar. I'm hoping that people will see benefit in just putting it on into your uh, uh, up at the top of your computer where you put in your favorites. You could just put it in as a favorite, screamingospreys.com, and then you could turn it on and actually leave that running while you're doing other work or checking your email or whatever and listening to the uh, to the show. Yeah, Rockefellers killed the planet. I completely agree with you, and and that's all been going on for a long time, 200 years almost. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning, for he comes like a thief in the night. You never know when the end times will come. Yep, it's true. Manning was Edward R. Murrow's assistant at CBS. Interesting. Yeah, boy, CBS, Paley, and whenever you look at it, you see that the one eye, right? It's that's they're all a mouthpiece for the empire. That's the trouble we have. Yeah, he must have worked with Cronkite. Uh, you asked me about Servitors of Empire, and did I? No, I met Professor through. Oh my, I think I just met him through George, probably. Um, but this book is fabulous. You need to learn all about the Sung clan, the TV Sung, and how how China has survived the British Empire. It's quite it's quite a complicated and detailed history, and he has a lot of persons. That you study these people like TV Sung, Harvard educated TV Sung, rode the wave of family fortune in the years leading to World War II, occupying a variety of government positions, including governor of the Central Bank of China. Well, that's a pretty important position. And then finance minister, 1932 to 33. He was known to have had a direct hand in the opium market, which helped the fledgling Republic of China afloat financially while adding to the already substantial Sung family wealth. The transnational upbringing pioneered by his father allowed Sung to move easily among the both Chinese and American power families. He has been described as that quintessentially Shanghainese breed of businessmen that knew East West dealings from both sides, and from which most of these bankers were descended. Once the Kuomintang finally buckled under the superior fighting forces of the People's Liberation Army and popular support of the peasantry, commanded by the Communist Party led by Mao Zedong, TV Sung left for the U.S. and lived in New York until his death in 1971 at age 77. While comfortably ensconced in his Long Island estate, the Chinese American tycoon worked diligently at amassing even greater wealth and enjoyed behind the scenes political clout among such establishment figures as W. Averill Harriman, whose own family name bespoke wealth, power, privilege, and the political access that comes with it. Of course, Harriman, that is the son of E.J. Harriman of the Union Pacific Railroad and the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They are nemesis. Yeah, if he would just pay them as much as it costs them to stop him from robbing their trains, he'd stop robbing their trains. Well, no deal. At street level, Sung was close to the local Tong allies who protected him from calumny by detractors within the Chinese American community that were put off by KMT corruption and the quote extravagant lifestyle of the high class refugees living in Washington, D.C. or New York. Younger brother T.A. Sung, a graduate of Harvard University, also exerted a presence in the financial world by serving as chairman of the board of the Bank of Canton in San Francisco. An announcement published in Time magazine of his engagement to the daughter of the prominent military leader who controlled Manchuria during the warlord period referred to his brother TV Sung as China's melon, an allusion to one of the wealthiest individuals of the day, financier Andrew W. Mellon. His father-in-law, Marshal Chang I can't pronounce it, Chang Zhulang, later ran afoul of both the Communist Party and the KMT and was to spend half his life under house arrest as a political prisoner. Only after the death of Chang Ching-kuo in 1990 was Chang released. In 1993, he immigrated to Honolulu, Hawaii, where he lived until his death in 2001 at the age of 100 years. Well, the point is that if you don't know who TV Song is, then you haven't understood the basis of our heroin epidemic today. Because TV Song was the head of all of those triads, the green triads that were created as an underground economy, like a mafia, a more sophisticated mafia in that they used the triad form with the three people that, work together and enforce themselves to work together. Those triads performed on behalf of Chiang Kai-shek when Chiang decided to take over Shanghai, and they went in and beat up anybody that wasn't on Chiang's side, and just got rid of them. And then when Chiang had to flee from the mainland to Formosa, the big island of Formosa or Taiwan, in order to take over that island. They had to massacre the people that live there already. It was a completely different Chinese people. And this was as much of a hostile takeover as if it weren't even the same country. And it's the corruption of the Chiang government is, I mean, heroin and corruption go together, right? Opium is the primary instrument of corruption used by the British Empire, I'm sure by the Portuguese and the French and everybody else too, but to control the people, the populations of Asia. Now it's turned against us. And if we don't face the fact that it was the British and Americans and other Europeans that destroyed the ancient government of China and destroyed their ancient heritage and destroyed a great deal of their buildings, their cultural heritage, um, their civilization, and that opium was the tool, the main instrument of the destruction of old China, then we won't understand, how simple it is for people that want to take over our country to use opium and heroin in order to destroy our institutions, our youth, our future. Daniel Hopsicker's latest book is Gangster Planet. I got to get that. Yeah, he's a good writer, and man, he knows his stuff too. I really do appreciate George. Met the grandkids of Chiang Kai-shek. Wow, ran time chairs, worked every day. They worked every day. That's good. Yeah. Well, the incredible amount of heroin that's been shipped into this country from Taiwan, and it still is, right? It's nice to think of the nationalist Chinese as our allies. They were our allies. They were the main army we supported to try to beat the Japanese. But they weren't really our allies in their own minds. You know, they were fighting the Japanese, but also doing business with the Japanese and selling dope to the Japanese. And then the Japanese would take that same dope and go out and conquer parts of China by taking the local mandarins and mayors and everybody and forcing them to become addicted to the opium. And I don't want to ever forget how important just the reading the title of this book is almost as important as anything else that we do, is to say COVID-19, the Great Reset. Well, COVID-19, COVID-19 is a disease, okay? COVID-19 is something, it's a medical problem. It is something that we need to talk to our doctors about, okay? It doesn't have anything to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with the economy unless we decide to make it have something to do with the economy. So if you are representing the richest people in the world in Davos, Switzerland, the billionaires, the Davos billionaires, and you're have created the World Economic Forum with the whole idea of doing a great reset, then you see that you can use the opportunity of a medical crisis to impose your great reset. And this book. I mean, this book was published way back in the spring of 2020. These plans were made a long time before the Snohomish County man stepped off an airplane in Washington. And these plans have been sitting on the shelf, and then they're waiting for the pandemic. Everybody's sitting around with these great plans saying we're going to do a reset, but we can't do the reset unless we have a pandemic. So the idea that COVID-19 is the great reset, which is what he's saying here. It's Klaus. Yeah. Yeah. Some English diction lessons, Klaus. If I could just give you a little personal advice, a little English diction you can learn. He's not interested. But COVID-19, the great reset. It's the open conspiracy. It is the open conspiracy. It's them saying, look what we're going to do. We're going to give you a novel virus, a novel, Novel, novel. That means new, means never seen before, but comes from nature. And because we've never seen it before and because it's new, that's how we can have emergency authorization for the treatment that we've been wanting to give you anyway. All right. Hidden in plain sight so nobody sees it. Yeah, that's the whole idea. H.G. Wells's book, The Open Conspiracy. Pale horse, pale rider. Yeah, Novel is a tell. That's right, Kate Gowan. Absolutely. If they didn't have, they throw that word in there as if it's just, part of the story. But no, that's an essential word. And one of the points that Dr. David Martin, the analyst, the actuarial analyst, makes is that there's nothing new about these genomes. They're out there. They've been floating around, and obviously some of them were there with SARS-1, but I can't interpret it. I can't explain to you what the problem is, except for that David Martin says, that they've patented this and that and the other one. But if it's not a novel natural virus, they can't patent it. So he says, no, it's not, there's nothing new there. And that's what I'm so fascinated with, the idea of this whole thing being a case of the emperor's new clothes. Blood thinners for kids. Chiang Kai-shek and Sun Myung Moon, Confectionery Arts, thank you for this, founded the World Anti-Communist League, WACL, W-A-C-L. Moon met with President Eisenhower in the 50s and was a part of the Korean CIA. He was close to George H.W. Bush. Yeah, cool. The Moonies. I really don't know what to say except for President Trump obviously went to uh, speak for the Moonies, the Unification Church, and that kind of didn't make me feel good. I think George is right about these Korean cults, and I don't understand why the president, unless he just wanted some money for a fundraiser, why he would have done that. Charlotte Ixerbite, and I don't know how to say her last name, but that's an interesting idea. I haven't read any of her books either, Elle Weiner. Um, if there's is there a name of a book you can toss out? Maybe I'll send away for that. The library here keeps growing, and I love it. Every dime I get in my Patreons, it turns around and goes out either buying books or bookshelves to put the books in. Um, well, tonight I guess I really just wanted to just let you know that we're going to start running this TV show. It's called Screaming Ospreys TV. And I will be adding, and I hope that uh, uh, some of the others that have regular shows will want to participate. Now, if you're an Osprey and you have some Osprey material that you think would make a good show sometime, if you want to do an hour show one day, we could connect you up with that. But I think what I really want to do is to try to have a regular schedule with some of the more regular folks like Professor Hamamoto, like Mark at Housatonic Live, and George and everybody at Neighborhood News Hour. So that's what I'm working on, is putting together a schedule. But for now, I'll be running my own stuff along with my live shows. So I hope that this all works out for you. And just spread it, because all we can do is give it away. And I want everybody, to feel like a part of it. We're all part of Screaming Ospreys. We're all Ospreys. We all sing the. So that's my story tonight, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I'm going to wrap up the show here, and then I'm going to go over to ScreamingOspreys.com and make sure everything's running smoothly. I hope you'll join me over there, and we'll see what that looks like. Thanks for being with me. Thanks, Andy DeBala at Neighborhood News, for our great production, and we'll see you again soon. Good night.